everybody. It's Debra Poneman, founder of Yes to Success Seminars, where we share knowledge and tools for you to live your ultimate life. Ageless anti-aging for your brain, your body, and your future, and the Awake Method, because it's time for all of us to wake up. Now, for those of you who are regulars to Success Saturday, you know that one of the recurring themes you hear very often is that our words and our thoughts play a huge role in creating our reality. In fact, I've shared a couple of times about my near-death experience and how in that space between life and death, I actually saw words coming out of the mouths of the nurses and the doctors that went into my body and shifted my body from weakness to strength when they were positive and hopeful, and back to weakness when they were not. When the nurse spoke positive words of my coming good health, I actually saw light coming from her mouth and entering my body, returning it to strength. And when the doctor expressed extreme concern that I would live, I saw his words enter my body and drain my life force. And if you've seen the movie, What the Bleep Do We Know? You'll know that science has actually confirmed the power of our words and our thoughts. And that if we think of and see the world as a fearful place, we're actually infusing fear into the fabric of creation and increasing the vibration of fear for everyone. But if we see the world as a loving place, which we might want to do the day after Valentine's Day, we infuse that love into the fabric of creation and contribute to a more peaceful, kind, and loving world. So I recommend that at this quite interesting time in creation, we become aware of the power of our words and thoughts that flow from us. And instead of sitting around and always talking about how terrible everything is and it's only going to get worse, talk about the world that we want to see. Talk about a world in which people are loving and kind and find examples of that. A place where there's unity and acceptance. There's so much good in the world. A world where we have compassion for people who are not only hurting, but for those who are misguided because they feel powerless or threatened. Now, I'm not going to tell you that if you do that, the people who think the path to a better world is to cause chaos and harm are going to suddenly hold hands and sing Kumbaya. But what we put our attention on grows not only in our own lives, but we give it energy. That's the law of attraction 101. Why would you think it doesn't apply here? And again, this doesn't mean we hide our heads in the sand and act like we're in the middle of Camelot, but envisioning Camelot will do a lot more for your own happiness and peace of mind, and thus for the future direction of our world, than continually putting our attention on hate and chaos, which is what we're doing when that's all we're talking about. You know, my friend Marcia forwarded to me a message about this from the angelic realm that was channeled through a wonderful angel communicator named Ann Albers, one of my favorite. You've probably heard of her. She's written many books, like Love Letters from the Angels and Whispers from the Spirit. And this is what she shared. I'm going to read it to you. Haven't memorized it. Here we go. You will not assist your world by joining in the chaos. You will not assist your world by any stance of righteousness, judgment, or superiority. You will not assist your world by trying to force light into anyone else's darkness. Instead, just be the light, be the love, be the peacekeeper, be the one who gets up in the morning and appreciates your pillow for cradling your head at night. Love the soap and the water in your shower. Love your breakfast. Give thanks for your home. Give thanks for your family. Pet your dog. Praise your children. Appreciate your partners. Then pray, dear ones, for all human hearts to be uplifted. Pray for the hurting to be soothed. Pray for the fearful to feel God's love. Pray for yourself to be at peace. When you look at someone, imagine the spark of light in their hearts growing brighter until you imagine them glowing with this light. Telepathically whisper to each soul you see, whether in your physical presence or in the media, you are loved. Do this for all souls, not just the ones you agree with, for all, regardless of beliefs or behaviors. They are sourced from the very same light. As you silently bear witness to the inner light, you help others remember who they are. As you telepathically whisper to souls, you send a vibrational wave of love to them, which their soul will energetically interpret and feel. Your emanation of love might be the one thing that calms the hurting heart of a person who is about to become violent. Your telepathic whisper might be the one that soothes a soul who is in such pain that they were preparing to exit the planet by their own hand. Your love might be a wave of peace that lifts a spirit before they fall into the depths of despair and resignation. You may never meet these people. You may never know them. Nonetheless, in the depths of your shared essence, you are connected, and your love matters. Beautiful, huh? And how do you know that what's going on right now, especially in the political arena in the US, as unsettling as it seems on the surface, is not leading eventually to new and glorious heights? Because this purification has to take place to make way for the light, the proverbial darkness before the dawn. Could be. You know, someone after one of my previous Success Saturdays asked me, how can I possibly look at the good when not only is the country falling apart at the seams, but people seem to be getting sick and even dying at unprecedented rates, and people are struggling more than ever to make ends meet, can't feed their families, countries are at war around the world, and the natural and man-made disasters are coming fast and furiously. And it always reminds me of the famous quote from Napoleon Hill, who said, every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries within it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. I believe that truth, and I hope you do too. It has to be a blessing, even if it doesn't feel like it, or it wouldn't be happening, because we do live in a benevolent universe. And the nature of life is to always move towards more and more. Again, I know it doesn't feel like that sometimes, even in my own life, it doesn't. But I trust that that's the truth. As the great Byron Katie, founder of the work, says, everything happens for you, not to you. You don't have to like it. It's just easier if you do. And actually, one more story I want to tell. I remember a woman in one of my Yes to Success programs several years ago who lost her job at a nonprofit that had downsized, and she was devastated. It was her dream job. She was despondent. And fortunately, she had the Yes to Success community to pull her through, but she tried and tried and tried to get another job in her field, and it wasn't happening. So, as a last resort, she just decided to start her own little nonprofit in the same arena. And I think it was for special needs kids. And within a few years, it exploded, and she was making 3 times as much salary and having 100 times the impact. It dwarfed the impact that the first nonprofit was making. And remember, it might not have happened in her timing, but it happened in perfect timing. It's impossible to judge any moment or event because we can't know the ultimate outcome. Sometimes seemingly tragic events lead to unknown blessings. Other times, our best moments are followed by trauma. We just don't know what's next. So during the good times, give thanks. And during the painful times, also give thanks. And know this too shall pass. Eventually, it always does. And when we do give thanks, the good will reveal itself more quickly. So I invite you to use the power of your attention to see a glorious future for our country here in the US and for our planet. See it filled with grace and unity and love and acceptance of one another and peace and kindness and justice and compassion and, of course, love. Hope you had a wonderful Valentine's Day, and I send you my love to you today and always. Bye for now, and I'll see you next week.